So Steve, we have been through super fast technological evolution during the last couple of years, especially around AI. What do you think is the role of technology around organizational agility?
Wow, I love the question. I've been pondering it for really since AI buzz started, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. AI in the world of HCM, which, by the way, I define HCM as leveraging people for competitive advantage in the organization, leveraging the workforce. And that's the responsibility of everybody. It's not just limited to the HR department, which typically is no more than 1%. So the role of AI, I'll give you two thoughts off the top of my head. One relates to a use case framework I came out with and published 5 years ago when the buzz was starting, the AI and HCM buzz. And so I assembled many use cases or potential use cases. I tried to really bring it down to the ground level instead of theoretical and abstract. What's really going to make a difference in a tangible, measurable way? And so the use cases almost naturally fell into 5 categories: personalize, predict, prescribe, best practice or best action, curate, which is now more associated with Gen AI perhaps, and understand the trend, understand what's the data telling me. So, it would take too long to go through examples of each, but I'll just give you one example of personalize and one example of predict. Personalize, the one that comes to mind probably is learning. Now, when people think about personalized learning, a learning experience, they often think of, the content is going to be relevant for me. Principally my job, but also maybe it'll factor in my career interests as well, which is addressing 2 agendas, the person and the organization. That's the best of both worlds. So personalized content, it's an easy thing to understand. But personalization is so much more than that. And AI opened up a lens on that. And immediately people had a different perspective on what personalized learning is all about. Because what it's really about is how you learn best. Not just the learning content that's going to apply most to you, but it's how you learn best. And it might be the medium, the pace, etc. In terms of predict, I'll go back to a conversation I had that I shared this framework with the head of HR at Microsoft years back. And he mentioned what he started to use, his team started to use AI for predicting when a candidate that you've already invested a lot in, maybe you flew them in, they took an assessment test, it's a senior candidate, and now it's the 3rd, 4th, or 5th interview, and they don't show up for the last interview, or they show up, but then they don't accept the job. Tens of thousands might have been spent there. So he called it predicting the opt-outs. It was a nice, kind of a subtle use case. I hadn't thought of that. Gave him credit for that. Because when I was in HR, one of the things we used to predict with algorithms in the pre-AI days was predicting employee retention risk, particularly key employee retention risk, because it's not just the disruption to the organization from that one person, but there's going to be a cascading effect depending on who that person is connected to, what people read into that person. Oh, that person left. Maybe I got to think about is this the right organization for me? So it has a cascading effect. So now with AI, you can much more readily predict and personalize. But as I said earlier, with all powerful tools, AI brings power that we hadn't had before. You have potentially security issues, and probably not even potentially. You have real security issues to deal with, you have privacy issues, and you have trust. Trust issues, not just trust the data, but employees trusting that if you say you made a decision because you used all the data and this powerful AI tool to come up with that decision, I have to trust that that's defensible, that it makes sense, that the methodology you used is sound. So there's trust, there's security, there's privacy. That's all part of the leveraging of AI.